Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my garden. You might see that I'm standing in the back of the garden, so if I just swing around a little bit, I'm standing on the top layer of the slope, which is actually not even a layer at the moment anymore. So I'm standing at that side of the slope that I haven't done anything with. It's kind of neglected area. Just the top layer is like, I've put a few things here and there. So today's video is a little bit about maintenance. So what I want to do is harvest some pumpkins here from one pumpkin vine that I put here, and I think I'm going to get out quite some pumpkins. I've already harvested 2, so let's see how many more I can actually find in this entire tangle here. And I'm going to cut back some of the hazel shrubs that are growing up here. So what I want to do in a second now is grab my phone, flip around, walk you through this area and show you how it's looking. And when I say neglected, I mean neglected. Don't expect any pretty sight here at the moment. It is quite a jungle, but it is one of the areas that I really want to tackle and that I'll start this fall, because this is what I did to the other side as well. It really took me a while to do it, and I need the time. Wintertime is just a good time to do it. As long as the ground is not frozen, you could really work your way through it, and I think it's going to be a fun, great project. So hope you're excited for today's video. I just want to show you from the garden the area that I want to tackle today, because I think then it's a little easier for you to understand basically. So this is the back of our garden. If I swing to the left, that is the existing perennial border, and I think it's still looking really beautiful. All the autumn colors are still really brilliant, and oh, I love it. Hope that frost is going to kick in really late this year, so we get to enjoy it a lot longer. Then there is Alfie digging in the strip of soil that I've taken out. She looks a little bit like a pig again, but well, I mean, she looks like a little pig, so it is what it is. And the new flower border or perennial border that I want to work on for next year. So if you saw my last video, this is what I've done so far. I've taken out just a strip of turf basically, and just to refine the shape. And the more I look at it, I actually really like it. In the video I said maybe I just want to swoop out a little more, but I think I don't. I really think the shape works well. I already walked along with the mower, and it is really easy. It's like a big kind of curve, so very easy. And okay, what's Alfie doing? Digging like hard. We have got like some kind of like bug maggots and stuff here in the soil, so I think she's really on a hunt for them. Well, better her than the mole, I guess. So this is the gate on how we enter the slope or the back of the garden. So if I swing to my left, this is the area that I already showed you in some of my past videos. So this is already what I started working on, and it is in really beautiful autumn color as well. So I've got, for example, this really glorious pink aster here that was a gift from a neighbor, and I don't really know the variety at all. What I can say is that the flower heads are really heavy on this one, so it definitely needs support, because otherwise it always collapses. So that's why I built this little basket weave fence here, which I think is really cute actually. It's really country looking, and it is a great support for the aster. So I'm really happy with that look. So if I just swing around to my right, this is the neglected area basically. So you get to see a lot of shrubs here. Everything's just grown over wildly. And the top layer is the area that I want to tackle today. So you see there are 2 hazel shrubs there. So the first one here, so there's number 1, there is number 2. So the first one is actually like a red leaf hazel, which turns like a dark green later in the year. And the second one is completely smothered by a pumpkin vine, which is grown like over it, in it, everywhere. So definitely I'm going to take out that pumpkin vine. There is just one pumpkin vine that's taken over the entire slope almost. So this was, as I kind of expected already, like a perfect area to grow any kind of vegetable, because it's really sunny, it's protected. And this is what I want to do with this side of the slope actually. I really want to build terraces as well and only utilize it only for vegetable growing. And I think I'm going to have great fun with that project. Today I'm going to take the pumpkin vine out, harvest all of the last pumpkins. I need to see how I get in there, because they're really hanging everywhere in there. And I'm going to trim back hard both of the hazels, because I want to use the canes, and I'll show you in a second what I use them for. And this is what I always do. I always trim them back really harsh pretty much every year, because they grow like weeds here. Like hazels here grow approximately 1.5 meters, maybe sometimes even 2 meters per year. So it's not a problem for me to trim them back hard at all. Then if I just step back here, you get to see what I meant with neglected area. So there's like some wood lying here. That was the railing from our old terrace basically, and we didn't put a new railing on the terrace. because we thought like if it is just a deck, it's nicer, it's just more open and you sit more in the garden basically because the railing secluded you more. And this here is like a top area where so far I was just putting some pots. I actually got some iris even in here, some bearded iris. And there is a pumpkin vine growing here and then everywhere. You can just see the leaves. You see the leaves also like going over all the shrubs here, but they already have like mildew and they start to rot back. And this is the last sunny nice day, so this is like a good day I think to really get in there and harvest the pumpkins. So you see there's a pumpkin there. There are 2 pumpkins hanging in there actually, not sure how I'm going to get those out. And there are more hanging somewhere in there, so I really need to see how I'm going to do it and tackle this area. I've already harvested, I think, 3 pumpkins from up here. So let's see how many more I can get out of this one pumpkin vine. Isn't it just a big difference to how it was looking before? I mean, just remember, this was a massive tangle, fully overgrown by the hazel shrubs and really taken them down harsh. And now you really get to see the area actually and how big it is. And I just want to walk you through quickly what I did. But before, I just want to show you, this is a pumpkin harvest from one single pumpkin vine. And I've already harvested 3 pumpkins before. So I have 11 ripe pumpkins here in my wheelbarrow. So with the 3 I harvested 14 in total, which is huge for me. Like I've grown squashes before, butternut squashes, and I was not really good with them. Maybe it's a climate, I don't know, maybe I did something wrong, different reasons. Maybe this was just the perfect location to grow a pumpkin. Like that one was happy as Larry. It was like here and then everywhere. I think I found all of them. Maybe there's still one somewhere bouncing around at the base. Might find it later on in winter. But I just want to show you, they look really good. They vary in size a lot, but I don't mind because I actually think it's even better when they are a little more of a medium, smaller size, because then if I do something, this is the perfect size to make something with a pumpkin. If they grow like to these massive sizes, sometimes I feel a little troubled, like I cut it open and what am I going to do with this entire pumpkin now? So I actually prefer that they have this size that they have. There's one that hasn't fully ripened, or hasn't ripened at all. It's still yellow, but I'm gonna give it like a nice spot somewhere and I'm gonna decorate it. So I'm not gonna throw it away. This is definitely gonna be a centerpiece of decoration somewhere. Let's see. But anyways, I'm happy with the pumpkin harvest and I'm determined to continue with pumpkins next year. So I'm definitely going to grow this variety again, but I kind of think like I want to also try out like some decorative pumpkins, like the white ones, which I find really cute, but I always have a hard time finding them here basically. Or maybe these Cinderella kind of pumpkins that look like this typical Cinderella coach basically, because I think they're also really, really pretty for decorating. So if you grow pumpkins and if you have like some varieties that you want to recommend to me and you grow your pumpkins in a comparable climate, I mean that is of course kind of important for me, then please leave me a message. I'm really happy to receive any kind of like suggestions that you have for me. So now I just want to walk you through this area basically because you get to see actually what's going on here. So first of all, I cut down the hazel shrubs a lot. So I really cut them down like almost to the ground, maybe like 10 to 20 centimeters left of the stumps, but this is how I always do it. And it takes about 2 years for it to grow back to the full size that it had, not full size, but to the size that it had actually, that you've seen. And I like the hazel shrubs, but I don't think I'm gonna allow them to grow that tall anymore because I don't want that this area is like completely shaded. I prefer the hazel that's in front there because of the red foliage. I think it's just a nice accent. And what I plan on doing actually, like remember in the beginning of the video, I showed you like this little basket weave fence section that I built with the pink asters. So I just want to mirror it on this side. So I plan on putting a little basket weave fence here just at the front and put the pink asters just behind it, so I kind of mirror this area, and I think it's just going to be like this nice inviting pop of color that you really just like, your eyes just drawn to the back here, just want to go here and explore a little bit more. And even though there is a big compost heap, you've seen it as well, I still want to transform this area, make it look a little more inviting and nicer and not just this like neglected space basically. What you see here are bearded irises. So most of them come from divisions from the iris that I grow in my garden. And when I put it here, I thought like this is just good for growing cut flowers. And most of them are flowering. They were actually doing quite well, but I want to transform this area only for food production basically. So I think I really need to replant the iris again, which I'm going to do probably next spring, maybe even this fall. I need to see. Iris here are very hardy and they kind of like, they withstand whatever I do with them. So even if I would replant them still like in November, they will do just fine. Here is then the second hazel, the one where I think like, well, maybe I'll just try and get it out. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it since I don't like to use like big chemicals or anything in the garden. So I need to see. Maybe just always cut it back and just, it is what it is. I just let it sit there for a while. I've got some more bearded irises here. They flower really beautiful. And I think I just leave this one stripe here kind of like as a decorative kind of area. And then this is already like a nice leveled out area here, which is quite stable and sturdy. And here I also put all of the hazel sticks and canes and everything. So they're really looking nice and straight. And these are the ones that I will use for the little basket weave fence section that I plan on building there in the front. So for that time being, I'll just store them here and then I'll probably make a separate video how I do that fence. I hope it's going to be interesting for you, and I think I'm going to do it probably in the next week or two. Now that area here. So this is basically how the other side of the slope was looking pretty much as well. It was completely overgrown. It was a big tangle of all kind of old fruiting trees, mainly plums are in here. There's one hazel. I see some hawthorn, which is actually nice. I might keep the hawthorn probably. But what I want to do is just reflect what I've done on the other side because it worked out so well. Like building these terraces. So the first thing I want to do is come in with my chainsaw, and that word is already like my heart starts beating faster because chainsaw and I was like, ooh, okay, I'm a little clumsy, so let's see how that goes. I really need to buy like proper pans or something for that and see how that works out. But I just checked them, and doing it manually, it's going to take me forever. So I really need to get cracking with a chainsaw. Just really cut it all back harsh. So I got to see what I have to work with, actually what I can work with. And then really start building these terraces again. Make sure that everything is really stable basically, because you don't want that the rain comes and washes everything out. But the other side worked out really well. It's really sturdy. Everything is performing really well there. So I'm kind of confident that whatever I've done on the other side of the slope, if I just repeat it here, this is going to be off a flying start. And then I want to dedicate this area only for fruit and veg production. So in my mind, I thought like I really love growing blueberries, and we got like 3 tiny shrubs in the kitchen garden, like further closer to the house basically. So I thought maybe at the bottom or the base of the slope, we could just put some lovely blueberry plants there and just really build it up basically with all different kind of produce. And as I said, I really want to put pumpkins here again. And since the pumpkin grew amazing here, I feel like this top layer is just a good area to grow pumpkins. I want to try out new things as well. I've never grown sweet corn, so I kind of feel like maybe sweet corn would be a nice thing to try out for next year. Maybe cauliflower, which I have never grown before. I always grew broccoli, and that is easy. So I feel like if broccoli grows well here, cauliflower will do the same. I just need to sit down now and just do my research of things that I want to do. So I think that's it pretty much for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Mosquitoes are kicking in. We haven't had any frost so far, so there's still like a lot of mosquitoes flying around, and since I'm in the shade right now, that makes it actually worse. So I just want to say Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not one of those videos where you have like a glorious, amazing outcome or anything. Like when I do these potting videos, you have like this lovely result to show. But for me, it's important to show you the entire process straight from the beginning, basically. And this is a reality. This is how it's looking, and this is what I want to tackle. And I think it's going to be exciting for you really to see how this area is going to transform and how I do it, how I approach it. This is basically just like the first step on what I'm doing. So till then, hope you have a lovely day. Take care. Bye.